This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little hope of mine, I'm gonna let it ride. Oh, this little hope of mine, I'm gonna let it ride. This little hope of mine, I'm gonna let it rise. Let it rise, let it shine, let it rise. All right, family, let's go into our prayer. Let us bow our head. Father Yah, we come to you today. Once again, we come to you another second, another week. Father Yah, we thank you. We thank you for everything you've done, you're doing, and you're going to do. Father Yah, just continue to barak each and every last one of us. Hold us close to your heart. Hold us close to your mind. Embrace us, Father, like never before through these hard times. Father Yah, we just want to thank you once again, Father Yah, for everything. Want to thank you for your son, Masiyaki Awashai, Father. A king, a savior, a brother, a friend, a teacher, mentor. He is so many things, Father. And we love him so. The water, Father, giving them unto us. The water for your peace, Father. The water, Shalom. The water for your love, Father. The water, Haba. The water for his for this life you give us. The water Kai. The water for the strength that you give us. The water Kel. Father, just thank you for every, everything that you have done and you are doing. Father, heal our bodies and our mind. I pray for those out there, Father, who are in need and who are without, Father. We pray as a family that, that you just reach out and touch each and every last one according to your will, Father. The water, Masiaki Hawasha, the water Yahweh, the Most High, the water to your Son, Masiaki Hawasha. And with that, Father, say all praises. The water, all praises. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. All right, family. Today we're going to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart. And it's just something that I think about often, that I had to evaluate my life and figure out where I'm at and what I have to do when it comes to certain things. And it all starts with knowing this. Is this about me or is this about you? And that's the topic of the class today. Is this about me or is this about you? This is one of the first things you have to understand. When we are in life situations, being them good or bad, we have to understand who we are making it about. It's important. This is important because it becomes difficult to do the just thing, the righteous thing, the honorable thing, when we do not know who it is truly about. And I'm going to explain that to you because uh, we're going to go into detail about that. Because first we're going to talk about what the scriptures talks about, looking outside yourself and being unselfish. Because that's what it basically comes down to. Um, so first we're going to go to Philippians 2, 1 through 4. Philippians 2, 1 through 4. And it reads, Philippians 2 and 1, and it reads, and I start. If there is therefore any consolation in Mashiach, if any comfort of love, if any fellowship of the Ruach, if any bowels of mercy, fulfill ye my joy. Let ye be like-minded, having the same love, being of one accord, of one mind. 3. Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of the mind to let each esteem other better than themselves. Look not every man on his own thing, but every man also on the things of others. Now, these verses are telling you in many ways, how we deal with each other, how we talk to each other, how we communicate with each other, man and wife, husband and wife, friend to friend, brother to sister. And it's telling you, don't have strife to your brother, or vainglory, meaning pride, that pridefulness that stops you from saying what it should be said. And but I'm gonna give you some more voices. Then we're gonna go in more detail of what I mean by not making it about you, because we must remember, because I want you to get an idea of foundation of where I'm coming from before I go into the discussion. In Mark 10 and 40, 44 through 45, and it reads, "And whoever of you will be the chiefest shall be a servant of all." 45, "For even the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister, and to give his life a ransom for many." You know, so we got to remember, we must remember, we are all here to serve. Even Mashiach himself came down here to serve, and he died for us in that servitude. So we must remember that, because basically, you know, uh, the world don't revolves around you. When it comes to serving, that's the key. We have to understand that the world don't revolve around you. The world don't revolve around me. So when I say you, I'm talking about myself as well. So don't think I'm pointing you out. But I understand that the world does not revolve around me. So I have to look outside of me when dealing with certain situations. Well, every situation, not certain, every situation. I got to look outside myself. Now, I can look more towards my direction, or I can look towards more their direction, but I have to learn how to look outside of me. That's important. So I'm gonna give you Proverbs 21 and 2 and 3. Proverbs 21, 2 and 3. And it reads, "Every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but Yahweh ponders the heart. To do justly in judgment is more acceptable to Yahweh than sacrifice." I'm going to read these two verses again because they're important in my conversation. I'm going to come back to them later on. Every way a man is right. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes. That means you personally may think you're right in your own eyes when you can only see yourself, when you're not looking past you. But Yahweh ponders the heart, because he know if you're not looking past you, you're only looking out for you. You're only thinking about you. And that is just the fact. So to do just, it's hard to do just when you're not looking past yourself. And judgment is more acceptable to Yahweh than sacrifice. So, I can give you many examples of that. Some people will make sacrifices if they think it will help them, but they will not make sacrifices when they think it will help others. It's so many situations you can go into it. Sometimes it will look like you sacrificing for others, but you're really sacrificing for yourself. So, because you're going to gain the benefit of it, even though you sacrificing for that person. And sometimes, like you say, your heart. Sometimes there's an underlyingness in it, uh, that will help you. I give you a small example. Say you have a coworker at a job that works with you, and your coworker has a child, and that child cannot. A child has school. She has to be home to take care of that child at the end of the day, and so she can't work overtime, or she can't stay later than you can. Say you don't have any children, and your boss comes up to you and he tells you this. He say, you know what? I need someone to work overtime, and and uh, 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 but your friend, now she's your friend, but she's also your coworker. But say Miss Williams can't work overtime. You know, I'm gonna ask her if she can work. Then I turn to my boss, because say there's a promotion coming up, and I want that job, and this is my friend, and I say to them, I say to him, she ain't gonna do it because she has a child, she has to be home, but I can do it. I will make that sacrifice, and I will work that overtime for you, boss. You know, but when I do that, I want you to remember when that promotion come up, remember the sacrifices that I'm making for you. Even though I'm making that sacrifice, I'm still throwing my friend under the bus. So that's one of the ways you can make a sacrifice, but your heart isn't there. Your heart is to steal that job from your friend. Now, you may look at that as competition, but that's still wrong, because you know exactly what you're doing, and the Most High knows your heart. Now, that's just a small example. There's so many things where you can make sacrifices, and your heart is not in it. Because it could be something small, something that pleases you, even though you're making a sacrifice, but it makes you happy and it's not about the other person. Now you can put those together on your own time, and you can think those out. The things that you do, and even if the sacrifices that you make, are they really for you, or are they for the other person? Is it to make you happy? Is it really truly making that person happy? These are the things that you got to ask yourself, and you have to be honest. The problem with most people, they don't know how to be honest with themselves. And that's what caused destructions in marriages, destructions in friendship, destruction between brother and sister. Honesty. Who is it about? Is it you or them or him or her? In a marriage, it's either you, him, or her. Who is it really about? Who really getting the benefit out of this? Now, I'm going to keep reading because I want to give you some more Bible verses, because I want you to understand that scripture will back up what I'm trying to tell you. Now, Luke 9 and 23, and it reads, and he said to them all, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up the cross daily and follow me. Now, the reason why I give you that, because in order to be truly communicative with other people, and help people and do the just thing, you have to deny yourself. And I know he was telling his disciples to follow him and deny him, the 10 to follow him and deny yourself, because he knows the world. In order to do just and righteous in this world, you are also always going to have to deny yourself. Sometimes you got to deny your pride. Sometimes you got to deny your finances. Sometimes you got to deny something that's going to affect you, that is normally what the world call adverse. It's going to be adverse. But you got to learn how to deny that in you. You're going to have to learn not to accept it if it help others, just like the disciples to follow him. And in other words, when he say deny, that can also mean, one of the meanings of it could be is be under discomfort. Everything ain't gonna be comfortable. So a lot of times, some people, when they deny themselves, that could be just being uncomfortable. Uncomfortable situation, but it's helping other people. Uncomfortable conversation. Uncomfortable, uncomfortable, uncomfortable. But that it is what it is. That's what you have to do. That's what you have to be. Then you do it. Now I'm gonna tell you some of the things you can kind of figure out if you're not who you serving, if you're not denying yourself, if you're not trying to make the just decision based on helping others, is only helping yourself. If you These are 5 things that will give you an indication on how you can kind of pick up on when you're not when you're not when you're not being the way the Most High wants you to be in a situation or anything, a conversation or an event, whatever it may be. Now, if you can remember these 5 things, then I say write them down because they will help you in the long run. Number 1, it becomes more about your feelings, your thoughts, and your uncomfortableness. What I mean by that, if the situation is more about you feeling uncomfortable, but it affects people in a more direct way and make them work more than they need to, or you don't want to say something because you feel uncomfortable and it may harm them because of your uncomfortableness, you don't say anything, then you allow them to fail, then these are the things that you know is more about you. This is how you know when you're not being just or you're being righteous, you're not being honest. Because when you're given knowledge, you're supposed to freely give it. Whether that knowledge is comfortable or not, especially if it can change or directly change someone's life or help somebody's life or encourage somebody, you can freely give it, even if it makes you feel uncomfortable. Everything we hear is not supposed to be comfortable, giving it out. Everything we hear don't supposed to be good when we talk to people. You're going to give people information that is good, and you're going to give people information that is bad. You got to be able to do both. I'm going to repeat. You got to be able to do both. Because righteousness doesn't necessarily mean that what you say to them is good. I give you an example. If I'm a righteous man and I see another man and he's committing adultery, I say, brother, you committed adultery. You're doing the wrong thing. That's not good. That's bad news for him. But I have to have that ability to be uncomfortable, to bring that up to him, to speak to him about it, and talk to him about the law, statutes, commandments, and keeping those law, statutes, commandments, whether I feel comfortable or not. Now, would I rather give him good news? Yes. That's not the point. It ain't going to never be the point. And as much as you always want to give good news, there's always going to be bad news you're going to have to give. So you have to learn how to do both. You also have to learn how to accept both. You can't walk around in this world thinking you're only supposed to receive good news. And the ability to not only give good news, you learn how to accept good news. Now, you learn how to give bad news, you learn how to accept bad news. And you don't target the person as your enemy. Because if someone truly loves you, they want to be just, they want to be honest, they want to be righteous. So they're going to give you whatever that news, whatever category that news falls into, that is what they're going to give you. Because they love you. And they're not going to just not tell you so you can fail. They're not just going to not tell you so you can be harmed. They're not just going to not tell you so you can look like a fool. They're not just going to not tell you because they don't care. To me, when someone don't tell me anything and they know I need that knowledge, good or bad, especially bad, and they don't tell me, they don't care. And they okay with me failing. So when you have a friend and he always telling you stuff, and then in the end you may fail and he say, I told you so, he's probably a good friend because he tried to warn you. Now you may say, oh, don't go until you say you told me so again, but you know what? He's probably a good friend. If you have a husband that say, I would never say I told you so, but I would simply say, I wish you would have listened. Because I don't want to make it a game. I don't want to make it so it's a challenge where I'm just trying to tell you stuff so I can say I told you so. Because when I tell somebody something, I tell them because I care. I hope and pray that they take it, that warning, or they take that whatever I said to heart and it helps them. But if they fail and they don't listen, I don't want to know I told you so, and like I'm getting some kind of comfort out of it. Because I don't get comfort out of ever saying that because I would always want you to be successful. And I do believe that most people who tells you that and warns you feel the same way. All right, I'm going to keep on going. First, I said one, it becomes more about your feelings and thoughts and uncomfortability. You know, and number two, you got it. This is the second one. Now we on number two. You did you ask yourself one time, how does it affect others when you were going through the situation, you were going through the communication? Did you stop and say, how does this affect the individual I'm talking to? How does this affect the people around me? And if you did ask yourself that, did you just brush it off like you didn't care? Or did you put some serious thought into putting yourself into that person's shoes and trying to get into their shoes, the way they were thinking, why they did what they did, how they did what they did? Why is that important? Because you can see things in a different perspective, and you get out of view and you can get into them. You're looking outside yourself. And then in doing that, looking at two perspectives, then you can make a just and righteous decision instead of just one when you only see yours. Think about it. So if you're going through something and you can't even look past yourself and your thoughts, and you don't think one time, did you think one time and put serious thought on what did this person do? What is the reason they're doing? And don't make it about you. Actually put yourself in their shoes. So say if they I'm trying to think of something simple. If a man and a woman is married and and a husband say he wants to have intimacy with his wife, but his wife never give him any intimacy. I'm going to use this because I think women need to understand this, and I'm not going to make no excuse for either party. But the intimacy is not going because the woman says she don't feel like she don't want to do it, but she don't do this, she don't do it, and she brushes that man off. But there's others out there who's trying to get him that intimacy. Other women who see that he's lacking that intimacy, because women can see. And that man takes off and he cheats on that woman. But that woman won't have no intimacy with him. Now, was that man wrong for cheating on his wife? Yes. Was this woman wrong for not doing what the scripture said, that she's supposed to give herself unto her husband? Yes. They both was wrong. But she cannot stop and look at herself and say, I was wrong also. But you were wrong too. And that's where it fails. And no correction is ever going to come of it. Now, how they fix that, I can't tell you. But what I do know is they both are wrong. Because it depends on each situation. Now, I could tell you he could go to her and say, you're doing it. And if he's done that, if he's went to her several times and she just blew him off and she annoyed him and didn't care, then that's kind of up to him how he handles it from there. Because he is the head. And that's a whole different class. And I'm not talking about that. I'm just using this as a blanket example that both parties are wrong, but both parties have to admit that they are wrong. You have to look past yourself and say, you got to look at him and say, okay, this is the party looking. I did not give that man any intimacy. I did not give that man what he wanted. So I do have to have some form of expectations of what he might do. I'm denying him because I don't want to deny myself. What I mean by the woman don't want to deny, she don't want to give the man his intimacy. She don't want to deny herself. Even if she don't feel like it, she said, no, I ain't doing it. I don't want to do it. I ain't going to do it. But denying her feelings, saying, you know what, I'm going to do what I do to please this man, and because that's what he wants, so I'm going to do it. That's denying herself in a sense, if that's what you don't want to do. But my point is that those are the things, that's a simple way you can look at it. Now, they can fix things like that, but they have to talk about it. They have to have communication. and they have to be open and they have to be honest. The key, honest. You know, and a lot of time in those type of situations, I understand that maybe the man gained too much weight, maybe the woman gains too much weight, or maybe they don't physically find each other attractive. All these things can be fixed in a sense. They can work out together. They can get in better shape. They can do lots of things. But if no one have an open and honest conversation with it, and they're not real with themselves, then it doesn't work. Now I'm gonna keep on going. So we talked about two things so far about when you're dealing with situations, and you have to deny yourself. You know, you have to follow the Most High. You have to follow the Word. You have to stay true to His Word, and you have to do things like that. And just like that story I told you about the man that has fornicate outside his marriage, he has to deny himself. He has to deny those desires to want to go out there and do that. So it did not go both ways. I'm trying to tell you, but in that case, they both would have been wrong. So let me keep going. And then the second one, you have to ask yourself. You have to ask yourself, how does it affect others? And if I ask myself that, I don't just brush it off and don't give it no serious thought in answering it. Because a lot of people ask themselves that question, but they don't give it no serious thought because it ain't them. It ain't their feelings. It's not how they think. It's just, oh, I glance over it. Give it serious thought. And number three is whatever discomfort it gives you, whatever that situation is, whatever you're going through, whatever you're going through, the communication, whatever discomfort, meaning if it's uncomfortable talking about it, uncomfortable speaking on it, uncomfortable looking at it, whatever it is, whatever that discomfort gives you, become more important than the task, the event, or the narrative or situation which can help calm or fix or correct the problem. Meaning your uncomfortableness you put above all that. You can probably talk about it, you can be honest about it, you can take your pride down, say, I need to take my pride down and deny yourself, but your discomfort in it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to hear it. It's more important than fixing the problem itself. That's when you know you're making it about you. Number four, you don't care even though it affects you because you can change. You don't care. Number four, you don't care even though it can affect you because you can change the outcome, but it will cost you something. What I mean by that? So that's sort of like you don't care about it because it ain't going to benefit you, even though you can change it to the better, but not for you. So if you have to change it or not, by you're going to lose something. Maybe you're going to lose money. You're going to lose time. You're going to lose respect. You're going to lose something if you say something, because you don't want to be uncomfortable. You don't want to be looked at a certain way. I give you an example. If this is a small example, if something in your household, say you got a family of six, and there's this is silly. There's a piece of cake there. There's the last piece of cake, and say the one who made the cake in the house said, "Leave me the last slice of cake." Okay, so all six of the people, family in the house, they know this. They told all six, y'all can eat all the rest of the cake, but just leave me the last slice. Fine, everybody agree. But somebody eat the last slice of cake, and this is silly, but he gets upset. The one who made the cake, he said, I only wanted that one piece. Y'all ate the whole cake, but no one admits to doing it. Now, ain't no way they can find out who actually ate that cake, but no one admits to doing it because of the uncomfortableness that you may feel who ate the cake, that you didn't listen, or you were being hard-headed, or you didn't care because you wanted it. You just don't say anything. That's unjust. That's not righteous. Because in your heart, you know you were wrong. When you ate that cake, you knew you were wrong. And that is one of the things that what I mean by that. You don't care, even though it affects. you can change it. You can change the outcome. What I mean by you can simply say, "Why everybody there? You know, I ate the cake, my brother. I'm sorry. You know what? I'll buy you another cake, or I'll make you another cake. And if I'm not good at it, maybe I'll buy you a cake. But I shouldn't have ate that last piece of cake. You could have fixed the situation because of your pride, and you didn't want to look uncomfortable, or you didn't want this. You don't do it, and that is unjust. Number five, and this is the last one. You cannot even look past your own thoughts or feelings to see the other side. Now, have you met people that way? They can't. They don't even attempt to look at your viewpoint, how you feel, what you thought. All they so stuck on me, myself, and I, they can't even see past themselves. Now, these are five things, and I'm gonna go over them one more time, and they are in my comment in my on my page for this video. You know, these are the things when you know that you're not denying yourself or doing the righteous thing or attempting even to do the righteous thing according to Mashiach Yahushai, who did the right thing, who sacrificed for us. Number one, it becomes more about your feelings, your thoughts, and your uncomfortability. Fact. Number two, you did not ask yourself one time, how does it affect others? And if you did, you brushed it off. Number three, whatever discomfort it gives you becomes more important than the task, the event, the narrative, the narrative persuasion, which can help calm or fix or correct the problem. Number four, you don't even care through it. You don't even care though it will affect. You don't care. You don't care even though it will affect you because you can change the outcome, but it will cost you something. What I mean by that, you don't even care even if it affects you if the outcome will cost you something. You don't care, you know, because you don't want to lose anything. You don't want to lose respect. You don't want to lose it. You just don't care. It's not enough to make you cause you in effect. You personally. That's the best way I can put that. Is I hope you get that. And the number five, you cannot even look past your own thoughts and your feelings. You can't look outside yourself. Now these are five things that you have to understand that if you don't get a handle on in your life and know when you are doing this to adjust how you react, to adjust the way you work with the situation, you are not you are not living according to the Most High. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say what it is. You're not, because you putting yourself before anything, and we're not about self, but we're about servitude. Servitude in itself reaps and yells out unselfishness. Think about that. I'm gonna give you Romans 9 and 10. Romans 12, 9 and 10. And it reads, let love be without dissimulation. Abhor that which is evil. Cleave to that which is good. Be kindly affectionate one to another with brotherly love and honor, preferring one another. In honor. In honor, you're gonna be truthful. In honor, you're gonna make the correct sacrifices. In honor, you're gonna love your brother the way you want to be loved. Now, people say that all the time, but they simply don't mean it. Now I'm going to give you the last verse, and we're going to call this a day. That's Philippians 2, 3, and 4. Philippians 2 and Philippians 2, verses 3 and 4. And they read, let nothing be done through the strife of vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem each better than themselves. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm going to read that one again. Let nothing be done through strife and vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem others better than themselves. Treat them better sometimes, even than you would treat yourself. Look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others. Look outside yourself. Number 5. Let this let this mind be in you, which was also in Messiah Yahushua. Oh, did he not look past himself when he sacrificed himself? So such a wicked people. He saw something better than us than we saw in ourselves. So he treated us better than we treated him. He loved us more than we loved ourselves. He did not lie to us. He did not say what we want to hear, but what we needed to, what we want to hear, but what was needed to be heard. I'm gonna repeat that because I stumbled. He did not say what we want to hear, but what was needed to be heard. That is why the Pharisees and everybody else was so angry at him. He wasn't going around saying things they wanted to hear, but he did say what was needed to be heard. And with that, that goes with everything in life. He served. He said what was needed to be heard. He gave the greatest sacrifice. He looked past himself. And we supposed to walk in his footsteps. We supposed to do the same, brothers and sisters. And when we learn how to do that, when we learn how to look past ourselves, when we learn how to put ourselves in other people's shoes, but with wisdom and knowledge, when we learn how to truly love each other and be honest and truthful, this world will and it's going to be a better place for all of us, even the Gentiles. And with that, brothers and sisters, I say to you, I love you. I hope to see you again. All praises to the Most High.